Morning again. I just want to thank all you blessed souls out there for all your loving comments. All you guys are good. I just love all of you guys. You new guys coming aboard, you're so great. Thanks for working with us. I think together we're going to really impact this world. That was what's so valuable about the YouTube. You know, I've been traveling around the world and building the reputation of how this works, and because the cure rate is so high that it's infiltrated a lot of the areas throughout the world, but you guys really are going to make the difference to how we meet this 2012 issue. And no matter which way 2012 is moving, this will be an upliftment for those that are allowing themselves to uplift and to awaken. And that's really, really important, I think, for your next journey. From where you're going from here, one must look at their lives and ask themselves, where are they going from here? And this planet doesn't offer a lot of experiences in terms of higher consciousness and broadening. It seems like there's a lot of souls locked into control freaking and things like this. But this movement of change and lifting of consciousness, incredible. So I'm glad you're all standing with me. I appreciate the great comments. I really do. I'm running a little late again this morning. There's just so much going on here. But I'm going to continue to plow through these questions and answers. I'm probably going to be in tomorrow and keep going down this road. I thought today we would cover insomnia, rheumatoid arthritis, skin conditions, and a myriad of other things. Unfortunately, we're covering so many different things in these question and answers that you might have to sit through some of these and go through them before you find the answer to yours. And so I apologize for that. It just seems the only way we can do it. But I've met a lot of you. A lot of you have come in to see me so far, and you guys are really getting it. So I'm real proud of you. So let me take off here with insomnia, because this is this lady is, and I don't know whether to mention any names. I don't want to upset anybody, but her husband has chronic insomnia, and I want to go down the list here, and I think that in the future this is going to be valuable, especially those that want to be healers, because I'll go over case. It's about the cases. Case studies are incredible, and I'll keep tying these in, and after a while, when I get the bulk of the videos, I think, done, we'll take cases. Maybe we can even listen in on a case, and you can hear the other side and hear what they have to say about their conditions and what they've been through. You hear enough of those and you'll see where I'm coming from. All right, so let's look at this gentleman. This gentleman, he pees a lot. All right, so when a male pees a lot, obviously he's got some prostatitis going on there, kidney inflammation. Anytime you see prostatitis, matter of fact, anytime you see any symptom, right, what are we looking at? A bunch of cells and two fluids, but we're looking at the kidneys and adrenals. This controls this huge sewer system, the lymphatic system, the body's main immune system. This system deals predominantly with the acid side of life and chemistry, and of course this is where all the swelling and all the pain and all the spasms and all this come out of what acids do to tissue and the body's response to acids like calcium and cholesterol. These two, particularly calcium, can yield a lot of symptoms when you're not utilizing it and the body's stealing it out of you to fight acid. So yeah, there's a myriad of symptoms here. So he pees a lot. Immediately his kidneys, he's got some prostatitis. He craves salt. Now, that's immediate, first hand down, adrenal glands. Probably low in aldosterone, which deals with the sodium. So you know immediately that this person has adrenal gland weakness. Well, he pees a lot, so those are tied together, right? Adrenals on top of kidneys. Drinks mineral water throughout the day, okay. Bad environmental allergies since childhood. Well, right there tells you that this individual has lymphatic problems since childhood. This is a genetic patch to him. And of course, that's the lymph system. Allergies deal with the lymphatic system. You can get allergic to everything on the planet almost. So this is obviously what it is. His lymph system's backed up. Well, when it backs up into the head, of course, I mean, lymphatics back up head to toe. You just don't back up in one area. Takes time for symptoms to accumulate in different areas, depends the nervous system impact and stuff. But when it backs up into the head, you've got the pineal gland up there, and the pineal gland is like your third eye, your spiritual eye as they call it. But at the same time, it's the gland of rest and meditation and prayer. It is the peacefulness and the sleep, melatonin. A lot of people jump on the bandwagon of taking melatonin. Well, remember what we talked about, hormones and steroids and neurotransmitters and digestive enzymes? You really don't want to take them. You really want to make your cells healthy. Makes more sense, doesn't it? Because it's a lasting experience. You get your cells healthy and you're done. Especially if you balance out, you have a pretty good diet the rest of your life, you're good. And not only do you have a healthy way to go, but your spirituality can blossom a lot more here. So you see how we're tying this in here. Terrible digestion. So we're probably looking at pancreatic problems. If it's carbohydrates, if it's fats, it's going to be gallbladder, liver. If it's proteins, it's going to be stomach. So you want to take a look at that digestive problem. But if the lymphatic system's backed up in the prostate, backed up in the head, isn't it backed up in the liver and pancreas and GI tract? Absolutely. Remember, it's always in the wall. Lymphatic system in the blood is in the wall, where the cells are. It's always where the cells are that the problem is. Nervous and irritable most of the time. Well, you know, this poor guy is full of acids, and his adrenal glands are low here, and this is lowering his autonomic nerve response, and obviously central nervous system is affected too. So here his nervous system is agitated, acidic, acids agitate, hyperstimulate, or hypo suppress. So sits in front of a computer for nearly 14 hours a day. Not scary. I got these in nuclear medicine. I spent a lot of years in hospitals and cardiac work, and this was in nuclear medicine. You wear these little badges, you know that when they turn colors, you better take a little break. Well, it's too late. So radiation is something that scares me. I just think that one has to be real careful with this. I have friends up in Social Security departments and stuff that really were into advanced computer technology, and there's a lot of neat things out there to help reduce that radiation. Screens, the little, I don't know, electronic devices for where you plug it in and it takes that alternating current and brings it smooth again. So eats a little meat now, that's good. Fruit in the morning, excellent. Salad for dinner, whatever he wants for lunch. I'd stay fruit there, buddy. On blood pressure meds, well, okay, you know, right there, there's the kidneys. And then, of course, that's going to push up the diastolic, and then it'll affect the systolic. But this guy's going to have some low blood pressure here once you fix those kidneys. Right there, he's losing his kidneys here. Anti-anxiety meds, remember, anxieties is coming from the adrenal glands. So isn't this guy easy to read now? See, we can go right down this line like this. So here's kidneys, here's anxieties, here's the adrenal glands on top of it. He's going to have chronic fatigue, I'm telling you. Nasal congestion, well, wouldn't you be congested up here? He can't rest, he can't sleep. There's the pituitary and the pineal. Well, he's congested in the sinuses. Right there's a giveaway that he's blocked. Medical doctors should be able to read it like this. Over-the-counter nasal meds, over-the-counter sleep meds. Sweats at night, well, that's a good thing. At least your third kidney, your skin, is sweating. Now, we could tie that into a lot of skin conditions. Rosacea. You know, what's rosacea? What's your skin? Your largest eliminative organ, your third kidney of cellular waste. That's why it's red, sweetheart. It's breaking down your skin, and then in a while you could get basal cells. You know, these are acids coming out, and whenever you have skin problems, your skin is overloaded. That means your other two kidneys aren't doing their job. All skin conditions like psoriasis and eczema, these things are easy to cure. Now, I've had extreme advanced cases of psoriasis. that means your other two kidneys aren't doing their job. All skin conditions like psoriasis and eczema, these things are easy to cure. Now, I've had extreme advanced cases of psoriasis. Of course, a lot of people got parasites out of them, but extreme cases of psoriasis where when you walk, you split and bled, flakes all over the floor. We throw them in the ocean. So you want to get into some salt water, but internally, you've got to move what system? What's coming out? I had a guy in Texas that he had psoriasis so bad he oozed pus like whipping cream. That's nasty, ain't it? But when he detoxed, he was oozing this stuff. Nasty. That's from the subcutaneous tissues, which are right under this dermis and epidermis. This is that area of the lymph nodes and stuff too. I mean, nasty stuff here, but man, is tissue breaking down big time. High acid, and so you've got to detox. This is a detox. You'll find detoxification is the answer to every single thing that's out there, because you're focused totally on the causative factors of things, not chasing rainbows and butterflies. And this is true with any skin condition. Clean up that skin, hot and cold applications, saltwater baths, but internally you must move that lymph system, or good luck, it'll come right back. Falls asleep for about 1.5 hours, then up for 3 hours. Well, you know what? Your body's like an alkaline rechargeable battery, and your adrenal glands are the recharging unit. And that's why rest, then you get charged up. That's why when you see neurological problems like MS and Lou Gehrig, whenever I pull nerve energy out of you, you'll start shaking. And if it affects the this is the autonomic again. You guy out there in Germany moves up and touches the cerebellum, just like the central nervous system. It all is intertwined. And of course, that is going to affect your equilibrium and dizzy center. But all I have to do is suck the nerve energy out of you, and you're going to start shaking there. And so that's why rest is a way of recharging the battery. The weaker the adrenals, the longer it takes to recharge, to the point where some people just can't recharge well. Heat sucks energy out of a body when it's a neurological case. And someone's like MS or something, throw them in a refrigerator, they'll feel better. Used to drink alcohol right before bed to try to go to sleep. I feel sorry for this guy. You know, he's suffering and nobody's there to help him because people don't understand the human body like we do, right? I won't go into the personal things here. You know, he's got a lot of irritability and ups and downs and things like this, and I feel sorry for him. If you're listening to this, whatever your name is, I would get to my health and take care of this, because you're looking down the road of lymphomas and everything else in that direction, brain cancers, brain lesions. You're walking down that road. This is more serious than what people think. You know, when you start backing up in the brain, that's a hard drive of the body here. So you want to fix yourself, and you just have to understand what the body's made of. Review some of these videos on the lymphatic system, or go to my website and see part of my new book there on the lymph system. She did put him on a little parasite cleanse and claims he got tapeworm heads coming out of him. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely get on our Parasite G capsules and load up and go down the road there, because man, you're being chewed on. I'd deworm myself big time, and I'd do it probably for 3 months or so and really hit them hard. Probably do 4, 5, 6 capsules at a time, 3 times a day, and really go after that if you got tapeworms like this big. I've seen them. My sister got 3 large heads out. I guesstimated they were probably 22-foot long tapeworms. I think the Smithsonian has got one 32-foot. Oh, your large colon's colon's only 5 foot, and your small bowel's only 22 foot. Oh. So, I mean, this guy, you clean your liver, you clean yourself up. And you were right. You really got this right, honey. I think, can I use your name here, Cindy? The adrenals are nearly gone. You were right. The adrenals are down. The lymph is super congested. You're right on with this. Colon is trying to help. You're right on with this, honey. You're right on, and I know you're trying to help him. And just keep going down that road with him, and he'll get it if he's willing. If not, you're going to suffer, buddy. And you don't have to. Just learn how simple this is. It's no big deal. Now, Someone asked me about, am I concerned about the genetically modifying of foods, basically grapes and watermelons and stuff. I don't know how to tell you. It's a resounding obvious. Monsanto makes me want to puke that we even have people on the planet that think like they do. You know, everything has been about the parasite. What they don't understand is nature has a supreme law. And it's simple. The strong survive and the weak are consumed. The more you hybrid, the weaker the strain. And then they're going to always be attacked. Now you're trying to deal with pesticides and herbicides. I mean, this is all about not understanding the laws of God here, guys. It's the same thing with genetics and human procreation. We're having the same problem. So we got to wake up to that. You can't procreate weaknesses and then try to fight nature's effect to get rid of it. And the food sucks and everything else. You guys aren't thinking. And of course now they're proving genetically modified food is very harmful. Monsanto, you need to be sued and tattooed and closed down. You are a one sick organization trying to control the seeds of the world. I tell you, you guys, I don't know where you come from, but the people aren't going to take it anymore, I guarantee you. We've all had it. And so get your act together. Let's turn your consciousness around and see if we can make superior foods. Get into oceanponics and start changing the way you're thinking here. Yes, I am very concerned about it. So I had a lady from Mexico in here yesterday. She watches our YouTube Sweet Thing, and her husband from, her boyfriend from Colombia. Great people and great places for food, you know. Mexico's a great place for food. It's too bad we have so much violence in the world, you know. This gentleman, well, I'll just call him Dan, right? Dan is just talking about rheumatoid arthritis here. I tell you what, I would avoid the acid fruits probably here for a while, unless you can really get them ripe on the tree, like oranges and grapefruit. I'd probably stay away from the nightshades. You probably know that by now, which is your tomato, your potato, your eggplants, and stuff like that. I'd probably stay away from kiwis and pineapples and stuff like that right now. I mean, if you could get a pineapple off a plant, nirvana. But we're not privy to that. We cut them so green it just almost is revolting. We need a quicker turnaround, but it makes for higher costs. I understand all that, but you know, your health is everything to you. We shouldn't compromise any of that. But man hasn't come to that yet. So rheumatoid arthritis, very important. These things are all curable, but take a while. Arthritis is much more chronic than people realize, and it's the same thing. Remember, I made comments before that in most of our RA cases, we see a lot of sulfur. So if you get a mirror, a real strong mirror, and get a flashlight, look in your eye, if you have a lot of orange in there, that's sulfur. And sulfur, of course, is a fungal aphrodisiac. A fungus in the body like candida leaves uric acid. Uric acid is a little pinprick acid. So yeah, I mean but you've got to detoxify that physical body of yours. You've got to get your kidneys on, you got to get your adrenals back. Well, that's what turns on the kidneys, of course. Get your steroids back up, your neurotransmitters, start moving that lymph out of there, and you'll be successful. We have a inflammation joints formula. You know, really it helps some with RA and some it doesn't. I don't know, herbal formulas are like that. And I'd really go and do the 2 kidney formulas, 2 lymphatic formulas, stomach and bowel formula, endocrine gland formula, and I'd stay on parasite M for fungus for a while and really, go after that. A lot of grapes, the subacid category is going to be a good place for you to be. And really hit a lot of fruits, you know, and do that detoxification. You might have to dig deep, depending here, but we have a lot of bodybuilders get RA. A lot of people that pump proteins end up with RA. And if you knew where you were going when you were pumping proteins and trying to build muscle, you'd run from it. Because, and you could probably ask Dan here how bad that feels, you know. We've had some very serious RA cases, pro athletes, just from pumping too much protein and losing their kidneys and backing up the gigantic lymph system. So thanks, Dan, for your nice input here. Thanks, Dan, for your nice input here. He's been a raw foodist for 8 years, too. 8 years. And you'd think in 8 years on raw food you'd get rid of RA. And I thought that back in the early 70s, but This is why I really found the herbs to be a blessing, because it really will slingshot your ability to find remedy. That's all I can say. And within those compounds or within those plants, there's just so much consciousness to help us, and that's why they're here. So really, you just keep working with that, Dan, and keep cleaning yourself out here. Someone asked me about growing herbs and stuff. There's, this is the problem we have, is that different regions grow different herbs, and they're seasonal, and it depends on what herbs are where. But I would definitely have a lot of parsley, comfrey, dandelion green, things like that in my garden. Comfrey's a great plant. The FDA, it's just like licorice. They're blaming these alkaloids that causes liver damage. Well, there's only one person I know of, or group of people that isolate alkaloids out of plants, and that's pharmaceutical companies. Goes back to that ephedra case of that baseball player that died, so the FDA banned ephedra. The guy actually was taking diet pills, ephedrine, which is the active principle in ephedra. And thank God there is at least one honest federal judge. It was a female. I had a female judge once, and she made a ruling against me, and she was so scared. The ruling was so against the law, because I had the law on my side. She wouldn't even put it in writing, and she looked at me, and I looked at her, and I knew she was being distruthful. Women tend to be harder to be untruthful for a woman than it is a male, apparently, which I like that, because, but this is the female federal judge, and she said, she said, you can't blame ephedra because of ephedrine, the active principle, and and that's the kind of honesty we need. This is the kind of honesty we need all through life here, with the FDA and with everybody here. What do you think we're doing with what does the FDA think they're doing? I mean, who are you doing it against? This thing about money. We ought to just go to the beach out here and start trading shells. There's an island there that finds beautiful shells and trades it for money. Let's start doing that. I mean, money, what's money? This is about enjoying a rock, spinning through space if we can. I'll get more with some herbs maybe for you there, but again, they're seasonal. Really not my gig, honestly. I'm more clinical practicing and formula maker, so I'm not much into growing those things, to be honest with you. There's just too much. We each can only do so much. But I'm going to look for some good organic growers, because we're going to, this project that we have going, we're going to create some herb farms and some stuff, so I'm probably going to need a lot of help. Let's see, Full Heart, you're a sweetheart. I appreciate the comments. I love you too. Polytheistic kidneys. Isn't it funny that you're starting to see kidney problems all over? This lady's whole family has kidney problems. Her brother's on dialysis, 12 years, is near death. That's because the acid strip, dialysis is a very toxic procedure. We've got a ton of those and working them off of it, but it's a trip, because once you go on dialysis, then they play this game of potassium and phosphorus, and they acid strip the blood. The blood is an alkaline, is a predominantly base chemistry. I remember I had a dialysis nurse in here one time, very sick, and she had told me that she went to her medical doctor, and he asked her, what kind of nurse are you? And she said, I'm a dialysis nurse, and he said, get out. So all I can say is that if you ever had dialysis or see someone, it just strips you down. Your blood pressure drops, your nutrition in your blood drops. If you're on dialysis, pump My God's Blend or a superfood blend. Pump it after each session. Dialysis generally Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you're still urinating, you're in good shape. If you're not urinating, it makes everything so much harder. And a lot of times in dialysis, you're urinating when you go in, and some of the dialysis procedure ends up stopping you quicker than you would have. Remember, everything's swelling, everything's shutting down. And so really, everything's regenerable. Everything can be cured. I don't care what. Polycystic kidney syndrome is another thing that's out there. So rebuild those kidneys. Get on those 2 kidney formulas. Get on a alkaline fruit diet. Beets, heavy beets. A good juice would be dandelion green, parsley, and beet bulbs. Even the beet tops. Very powerful. All urinary tract, all adrenal glands. Beet. Someone said one time, try a 3-day beet juice fast. So I thought, well, okay, no big deal. I tried a 3-day beet juice fast. It doesn't sound like much. Oh, let me tell you, I thought my prostate was going to come out. You know what? I mean, that's strong, let me tell you. So I wouldn't go too strong, but you know, a lot of beets and dandelion greens and parsley. You can throw in a little basic carrot if you want. Throw anything else in there that you want, you know. But when you're on dialysis, you can't worry about this whole idea of sodium potassium foods. You're marching straight forward. Everything has sodium potassium in it. You're after regeneration of tissue. You want to get those kidneys filtering. The adrenal glands are the big problem here, of course. And remember, when you have dialysis, you're only cleaning the blood. Your lymph system is still getting worse, because they don't realize your kidneys filter the lymph system. That's why you see it back into the blood. It takes a while, but it'll start backing up with the blood, and all they're doing is cleaning the blood because they don't know how to clean the lymph system. The kidneys clean the lymph system. So this is a real big issue. Rebuild those kidneys, and this is, working on genetics, obviously. But you can rebuild genetic thinking of cells. Go after these cases. Kathy, really a true beauty. Yeah, I bet you are. You're a caring person here, and you're not hit it so bad. So you go after your kidney, sweetheart. You go after your health. You're focusing in the right direction here. There's no other direction. Find one and let me know. But go down this road and help your brother and stuff. There's no reason he should have to pass here. And get him back on the road of health and stuff. Let him review these videos and stuff on that. This one lady, I won't mention any names here, she had fibrocystic breast. Oh, she's talking about the love factor here, and how she had fibrocystic breast, and the love factor, in opening her heart and everything dissolved them. And this is so true, and you know why? Because you're relaxing and your kidneys are filtering. When you're stressed, just take a minute and look behind you. Your kidneys are shut down. Your epinephrine and norepinephrine is up. Your acetylcholine and dopamine down. Meaning your eliminative organs are shut down, and your adrenaline is up. Good point. You guys are so neat. I really love your conversations with me here, Crystal and Ascension. I love that one. You guys are so good. Keep it up. The love is good, and that's what we need to do. Build this YouTube site into a very powerful healing modality where people recognize the power of love and beauty and healing. I love it. It fills my mission here. You know what? I'm just not really into blue-green algae. This person asked me about that. I don't know if it's a big deal or not. My friend Dr. Jensen was heavy into split-cell chlorella, although I always thought spirulina had a lot more going for it. But in reality, a single-celled organism, I say this, in detoxification, you leave these things off to the side, these proteins. If you want to take them later, go ahead. I don't really care. Again, I use palm scum basically because that's what it is, and everybody's trying to get rid of fungus, and yet this is kind of a family member in a way. So I don't know. You can. I think man is into so many bizarre things when all the good things. Remember that old saying that Ponce de Leon was seeking the fountain of youth, and he looked high and he looked low and he looked everywhere, and then he finally realized his horse was eating on it all the time. That's that's the problem. This one lady, I won't mention any names here, she had fibrocystic breast. Oh, she's talking about the love factor here, and how she had fibrocystic breast, and the love factor, in opening her heart and everything dissolved them. And This is so true, and you know why? Because you're relaxing and your kidneys are filtering. When you're stressed, just take a minute and look behind you. Your kidneys are shut down. Your epinephrine and norepinephrine is up. Your acetylcholine and dopamine down. Meaning your eliminative organs are shut down, and your adrenaline is up. Good point. You guys are so neat. I really love your conversations with me here, Crystal and Ascension. I love that one. You guys are so good. Keep it up. The love is good. And that's what we need to do. Build this YouTube site into a very powerful healing modality where people recognize the power of love and beauty and healing. I love it. It fills my mission here. You know what? I'm just not really into blue-green algae. This person asked me about that. I don't know if it's a big deal or not. My friend Dr. Jensen was heavy into spit-cell chlorella, although I always thought spirulina had a lot more going for it. But in reality, you know, single-celled organism, I say this, in detoxification, you leave these things off to the side, these proteins. If you want to take them later, go ahead. You know, I don't really care. Again, I use palm scum basically because that's what it is, and everybody's trying to get rid of fungus, and yet this is kind of a family member in a way. So I don't know. You know, you can. I think man is into so many bizarre things when all the good things. Remember that old saying that Ponce de Leon was seeking the fountain of youth, and he looked high and he looked low and he looked everywhere, and then he finally realized his horse was eating on it all the time. I mean, that's, you know, I mean, that's the problem. It's all right in front of us. We don't have to get bizarre. We had to go scraping palm scums and stuff like this. Lakes are got acid rain in them. You know, we're dealing in acid rain right now. We're dealing in acids and radicals coming out of the air. I don't know where you're going to get purity anywhere. I don't care how far the lake is remote. I've seen some remote videos up in northern Canada, and even way up in the northern regions, these lakes are getting real polluted with acid rain. And so, I don't know, you know, do what you want with that. But in detoxification, I'd leave it off, to tell you the truth. The water full of love. I find that interesting name, my friend. You're a good guy here, and I appreciate your comments. Let's see what you were saying here. Oh, guy, you got some Texas. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in Corpus Christi, Texas. He's going to plant blackberry vine. Oh yeah, I would. I'd just load them down. I had fresh berries and things. I know, same thing. Dealing in acids. I would clean your fruits, everything. And you know, I had a 3-doctorate professor from Canada invite me to speak one time, and his life work was the potato, the blueberry, and the banana. And I respected this guy because he had 3 doctorates. You know, he spent his life studying these 3 foods. How can you spend your life studying 3 foods? I'm sure he did a lot of other things, but he felt that the banana was nature's perfect food. Of course, it is the only fruit that ripens nutritively after you pick it green. That's pretty cool. But he also picked the blueberry, felt it was a very powerful food. And anything dark like that is good. And then you look at all these berries coming from the tropics, tropical berries. I mean, that's our nectar. And you see how these MLMs are grabbing them, and you get a little bit of berry juice. I mean, that's a rip. But you know what? I mean, we should be bringing these berries in here. Great stuff here. I like the lychee, too. That's excellent stuff as well. This is a serious one. Eye retina leak and burst. You know, again, this is all about acids and what acids do. That means your lymph system is backed up into your head big time. I would really head on that lymph system. We've got a formula called Visioplex. It's got raw eye tissue in it. It does have some vitamins in there, some isolates in there, but it has some bilberry and other things. I'd highly recommend that. I would do topically our eye wash and even take that internally. It'll start promoting blood and lymph flow in these tissues. Make sure my parathyroid is up. Check your fingernails. Make sure you don't bruise easy. Make sure that everything's toned and tightened. And even if it is, I'd probably do a little parathyroid tissue just to enhance my calcium utilization, kick up the kelp ingestion, so you have the iodine and the calcium together there. and start strengthening and building back, because you've got to move lymph. Remember, this is this simple. You can't rebuild tissue in an acid medium. You just can't do it. Acids are corrosive in chemistry. They break things down, and until you remove these acid mediums, can you have regeneration? So don't get frustrated. You've got to get these acids out of the tissues, and easier said than done. Remember, we use the word anionic, meaning dehydration, coagulation, and this is what happens to our fluids in the body, particularly the lymphatic fluids. The blood has to rehydrate itself, or it'll suck you dry of calcium to do it, and then it'll start pulling your sodium. It'll start pulling because death is imminent in an acidic environment of the blood within a few minutes. So you can see that the lymph doesn't have that benefit so much, and that I know. I don't know all physiology, let me tell you. There's so much to it. And the problem is that we think we know. We think medical information is accurate, and it isn't. This is the problem. That massage therapy bought into this, and I felt that was kind of sad, because massage therapy bought into this idea that you put your cellular waste back into the venous system. Let me tell you, you have some of that, but ultimately it would be ridiculous to dump your acids into your blood system. You can't convert all of them like carbon dioxide back into water. You can't do all of them like that. You got uric, phosphoric, you got all kinds of acids. Boratics, you got all kinds of acids there. So you got to have a pathway out, and it can't be the blood. It's got to be that other pathway. What's that other pathway? It's the lymph system. 3/4 of interstitial fluids. Fluids flow around the cells. So yeah, you got some work ahead of you, but boy, your vision, my friend, is everything. So really go after this. We're seeing all kinds of things like wrinkled retinas and of course MACD's out there, your cataracts, your cholesterol plaquing, all these are signs. So those are some of the things that you can do to really get up there. I do upper circulation, get my blood pouring everywhere, get my calcium utilization up, get in some eye regeneration and eye tissue to help try and regenerate these things as best you can, and really move that lymph system. That's your only hope of coming out of this. I have a lot of questions here, and I'm a little slow at answering them, and I've got another client coming in here. But tomorrow, I'm off, and I'm going to spend all morning. It's going to be long videos, so I apologize to you, but look at what I got to answer. So hang in there on me. This is about a sluggish gallbladder and swollen lymph nodes and cysts and things like this. So you all know that it's still the same. All these tissues, bunch of cells and fluids. You know, when your lymph nodes back up, your septic tanks are backing up. If something's backing up, something's blocked, right? You're obstructed. Remember that old saying that any obstruction to the flow of energy is dis-ease. And remember, I was talking about that includes thoughts and emotions and acids and proteins and mucus, all this stuff. Anything that obstructs the flow of energy causes dis-ease. And so you see what's going on here in your case here. Thoughtful. I like some of your guys' names here. Yeah, you've got to get you're having trouble with your back of your neck, all over, honey. So get your kidneys moving. This is a kidney and adrenal gland issue for you, of course. And I mean, the body only has a few parts. When you're done listening to these videos, you're going to have a good sense of how the body's built. We're not trying to be medical doctors here. We don't want to be. We want to be people that help people cure themselves of their problems. We want people to address the causative factors, and it's simple. If you get too complex, you lose yourself. And then you start, falling down that road, and you end up coming back to this every time. Every time. And really start going into the lymphatic formulas, into the bowels. Key essential, clean up the bowels, GI tract, clean up the kidneys, get the adrenals, all the endocrine glands, get all of them back on. And you can kill some fungus out of you, be helpful. and go after that body in that way. If that's just your focus, I do a liver gallbladder formula, no question about that. But at the same time, remember that the liver's just a bunch of cells, the gallbladder a bunch of cells, and what's breaking them down is the interstitial fluids. That's the fluids that flow around them, and your lymph system obviously isn't going too many places real fast. I mean, you're swelling in the lymph nodes and everything, stiff, tight, and you're breaking down from that. That's all lymphs. When you're stiff and tight, that's all your lymph system. That's what acids do. They make you edemic. They make you stiff and tight, pain, swelling. And so really go after your kidneys and your adrenal glands, honey, and you'll be okay. Now, let me see what else here. NNJ925. Nice looking woman. Let's see. I am having, in addition to acid upper abdomen pain, gas, bruising, easy, and some weight loss. Some of you are going to get, Nicole, some of you are going to get some weight loss, and you can't worry about it. Look at Dan the man. He's too skinny. But why? Why do you get too skinny eating raw? You don't see a gorilla too skinny. Well, the reason is malabsorption. And you've got to fix our GI tracts are in horrible shapes. We're working on decades of white flour consumption, dead animals, cooked vegetables. I mean, for those that are out of the islands, we have no chance, because look at what our past generations have been eating recklessly. They didn't care. There's no thought of health. And you had people like the American Dietetics Association, unscientific, sorry, my opinions. I have a right to have my opinions. Another bunch of people that need to go to jail for what they've done to our children and to us through their arrogance and ignorance and their I have to say that there's no way that the American Dietetics Association has any scientific understanding whatsoever. There's none there. So this has to be associations that have paid for concepts and ideas. And even in their new chart, they have this glass of milk. You tell me what's healthy about a glass of pasteurized milk. Nothing. Matter of fact, that's a stick of dynamite. And that's serious. And then you got your grains. What's healthy about a grain to a kid? It fattens them up. Look at all the children that are heavily overweight. Their adrenals are so shot they can't deal with sugar metabolism. They can't deal with starch. What's healthy about a starch? Why do we give starches to hogs and cattle? This is the problem. If you want to do anything, put alfalfa on the plate. This is the problem. I remember that black principal in Alabama or Georgia. She decided to take all that crap and put a lot more fruits and vegetables. Her school was on the last academically of the state. Now it's at the top. Kids don't call off. Kids are bright. Kids are never sick. And it's like, hello, sweetheart, you did good. You did just what every school system needs to do. Ignore the ridiculousness of this. Look at hospital food. I think I told you a case of a young man that had a heart attack, an MI, and in the ICU, intensive care unit, he's eating a barbecued beef sandwich and French fries. Now, what the heck is that? And for a medical doctor to say food has nothing to do with your health, surrender your license and go dig ditches for a life. If you don't understand chemistry, why are you a medical doctor? No offense, but that's how crazy it is. It's crazy out there. Honey, this bruising, sorry I got lost on that tangent. I mean, just sit behind my desk and see the suffering and what man has had to, is at right now. See what we're fighting. And why are we fighting this? What you eat is everything. What you drink is everything. What you put on your skin and what you breathe. That's how you bring the outside world of chemistry inside a world of chemistry. It's all chemistry. Are we not thinking? Of course, to some chemists, calcium's calcium no matter what source. So I have my own version of inorganic and organic. Bruising easy is going to be your parathyroid. If you're getting some gas, honey, you're probably not your pancreas, you're probably not digesting your carbohydrates properly. Now, I say that, and you could have a lot of sulfur in your gut from the use of antibiotics early on in your life or something. A lot of sulfur drugs used, and we've touched on that subject quite a bit. So you want to clean your gut out there. The weight loss, maybe too much, would mean that the walls of your GI tract is either backed up lymphatically, or you have a lot of sulfur in there and you have malabsorption going on, you have putrefaction or fermentation going on. So you really want to clean that gut out and get that lymph system moving there, get your kidneys on. I pay attention to my thyroid and parathyroid gland. If I knew more about your case, we could probably determine whether it was a pituitary problem or not. I don't know how to teach you guys iridology over this, but maybe I will come up with some idea because it's simple and easy. This is a case where they have, talking about the Ganji coffee and beer in moderation. You know, I'm definitely for the legalization of marijuana. There's no question about it. I think that we should tincture it again and use it as a relaxant. A few drops on the tongue, non-toxic. You got all the nutritive properties to the cannabis. I mean, it's super. Yeah, you know, I think that on this planet, man is, you've got the aggressive male here that controls everything, that doesn't understand that those people that are trying to get a high, trying to get a buzz, are just seeking some pleasure and some joy in life. And life, we've made life so hard. That reminds me of Dances with the Wolves, you know, with Kevin Costner, and how the military was so hard, and yet the Native Americans so loving. I mean, this is our problem, and we need to wake up to that. We imprison people because they want to feel good. I mean, this country's hard. And we wear our ties and our coats and we look like we're stiff and constipated. That's what capital Washington, D.C., the federal territory is, a bunch of constipated individuals. They need to somebody take some Ganji up to Washington, D.C., send some Amelia and pass it around, would you? I think things will get taken care of there. Well, I mean, I don't do it, but I tell you, yeah, I love the natural high of life. If you work in the now, it's a buzz you can't hardly control. And if you're eating a lot of fruit and you're working with the now, you got your mind quiet, there's nothing like it. I mean, you live always in ecstasy and joy. So, you know, sometimes you use those things early on to get there until you learn how to have these natural highs yourself. But we need more compassion for each other in this sort of thing. A lot of people get into migraines too. I wanted to address that because there's a lady running for president now, Bachman or whatever, and she has these migraines, and maybe I'll make that part of the list here, but migraines, honey, you need to detoxify yourself. You know, get your sinuses cleaned out, get your thyroid, fix your gut there. I see you have GI tract problems looking at you. You know, clean up your body here, and those migraines will go away because they're going to make a case against you about you can't be president with that. And if you listen to this, you were a tax attorney for the Department of Justice, you need to free everybody you sent to jail because you know the law. The Constitution forbids direct taxation of individuals, private sector people, like state citizens. And you guys have put a lot of people in jail and you shouldn't have. That's bad karma for you. So unless you've changed, you're in the Tea Party. The Tea Party is a bunch of people like me that know the truth about the tax laws. And Ron Paul's a good one that knows the truth. You need to open up to that or get out of the Tea Party. But migraines, clean your body out. Detoxification. I think I told you of an Amish elder that had migraines for 45 years. Had them gone in 2 months. So you really got to dig in and clean the sinuses, get the thyroid up, a big source of migraines. Get those bowels moving, cleaned up, and those migraines will go away. Whoever's got them out there. Yeah, I'll put the news stories on one of these days. You know, those are all video types, so I got to figure out how do I get them off of cassettes and stuff and get them on the line there. Well, we wanted to put them on the, because the state's always come after me, different things. And then, of course, a lot of stories have been run on us, good positive stories that were neat. Newspapers. We've had a lot of great publicity from that. This girl is a 19-month-old, excuse me, honey, 19-month-old daughter has eczema. Of course, that's skin, right? Since 3 months old. So you know, of course, we've talked about this. You poor young people, kidneys and adrenals, and this poor little girl, she's got kidneys and adrenals. I mean, that's obvious. So she's 19 months. You break her off of milk right now, and you get her on fruit juices, fresh fruit juices. Don't buy them in a bottle. Make them fresh. And I would cut grape and apple juice. If you want to throw some coconut in there, okay. You can add some superfood blend if you want, you know, just to make sure she gets all the nutrients. But at this level, you're going to have to, she's close to being weaned anyway, you're going to have to break her off and clean her lymph system. A couple drops of a lymphatic formula, a couple drops of kidney formula would be very beneficial and help moving the skin condition out. You got to fix her little kidneys. And that's real important, in her adrenal glands, and help work her out of these genetic weaknesses. But you can work her out of this. We have them that old, full of cancers. I mean, this is you know. So here she has nut, oat, and egg allergies. Yeah, I mean, her lymph system's backed up big time, and probably got her lymph congestion really from you. Well, you know, when a baby's in mama, your lymph system, everything becomes one. So going back in genetics, honey, you probably have the kidney and adrenals too. So might be a good lesson that you do. But get her off of these foods anyway. Get her on fruits. It'll be great here. Yeah, I mean, toenail problems. She had a lot of fungus in her, so you can give her a little parasitum, a couple of drops, maybe 3 drops. In her juice, itchy skin, eyes, you know, yeah, she's full of fungus. She has a lot of lymphatic, she has lymphatic drainage problems, so go after her, but you go after her real gentle. Kidney number 1, maybe 3 drops, and maybe 3 drops of a lymphatic number 1, and maybe 3 drops of parasitum. Get her on fruit juices, and she'll work right out of this. Michelle. Rosacea, we covered that. Notice, when we pull this off, we've only been on here a couple months, and we have 1111 subscribers. You know, I've been seeing 1111 everywhere, and I've been seeing it for a couple of years. And then I was in a kind of a New Age bookstore, and there was a book written called 1111. A lot of people are seeing 1111. I wonder what that means. Any of you guys know about what 1111 means? But rosacea, skin. Skin is your third kidney. You know, get those other kidneys going. This is going to be really good. You know, we've talked about, this is a question about ADD. We've talked about this, going right back to the autonomic nervous system and the adrenal glands. But also we see some CNS going on here too with the large pupils and stuff. So really, upper circulation and our brain and nerve, our new brain and nerve, those are 2 things I always use with ADD, autism, all these type of things, MS, Lou Gehrig's, all these things, Alzheimer's, all these things. So yeah, I would, and then go after the lymph system, but bring up these endocrine glands. But you can get brain, I mean, the herbs are so much fun, there's so much we can do. I'm probably running out of time here in a big way, so I apologize. I'm going to have to cut this off. This other person has some arthritis in the toe. You know, again, there's your lymph system. Move that lymph system. Get those kidneys filtering it. Your legs and hips all come through those kidneys. And if you don't, you might notice knees going and then your hips going and things like this. So I think I'm going to cut this off. Tomorrow I'll come in here and I'll finish up because I'm working on some old questions that I really want to get to, and some new questions. So forgive me for dragging my tail here, but you guys are on top of me, so that's good. Keep me going. All right, love you. Thanks all for watching our videos. Thanks again. Have fun today, and we'll come out and finish these off tomorrow. All right, thank you.